let's actually do a review on this then. It's a Hoover Quattro Easy Logic Whisper 1300 AA rated washing. Now, this model is AE230. There is an AE130, which I have, and off the bat, I can definitely tell you there isn't that many differences between them. But we'll look into it. Right, so what is the difference then? Well, the difference is tiny. It's the water levels of the rinsers. They're lower on this than they are on the older AE130. And as far as I can see, that is it. Right, so shall we take a look at it then? Right, now there is something missing. It's this. It's the guard that goes on the front. I've just taken it off just for filming purposes, but you have a plastic guard that goes over the front, and that's a heat shield. Now, if you had the lower models, any performer, it's the same door, just without that guard. And obviously not this insert anyway. That's not on it. Open door, you push the button at the top here with the key. I'll show you that more in a minute. Now, it's not the best, but it does work. And we open up inside to a 5 kilogram drum. And we've got this jet, which you'll see more of later on. We do tend to have a kit plate, but not with this. I think I've got one, I'm not sure, but it's definitely yellow, I do know that. And we've got a filter at the bottom here, but it is not attached to the main pump. This pump at the front is your recirculation jet. Now, the reason why they've put that filter there is how jets work. When they jet, they drag water through. Any coins or whatever that might fall through will actually get pulled through the system and end up there. And by doing so, that keeps it away from the main pump, which means it should always drain even when this filter's full. Clever idea. So shall we take a look at the programs then? So the program dial has off here, and there's 3 sectors for it. We've actually got nothing there. And if we go the other way, there's nothing there either. In fact, there's nothing here either. Or here. Not that it thinks that. Interesting. But actually, if we go to the first program, this machine has 26 programs. But the temperature is actually within the program dial, so it's not like you have variable temperature. Right, so we have cotton 90. Now you've got this bar here, heavy, medium and light, to do with the soiling level. Heavy soil is obviously the longest, medium is medium length, and light soil is one of the shorter lengths. But you have cotton 90, 60, 50 and 40 as heavy. Then you have cotton 60, 50, 40 and 30 as medium. Then cotton 40 and 30 as light soil washers, which means that the only program that offers you all 3 levels is 40. Then we go on to synthetics. We've got 5 settings for this. We've got heavy at 60, 50 and 40. And then we've got medium at 40 and 30. A bit confusing really, since that on the dial this tapers off like the light. Then delicate doesn't use these. 40, 30 and 15, which indicates cold. Then we've got the wool cycle, 40, 30 and 15 to indicate cold. Then we've got SP1, which is your 3 rinses and spin of the Easy Care cycle, or the delicate cycle. Either way, it uses high water levels, no spin in between, and a final spin at 800 RPM. Now, be delicates then. Then we've got rinse and spin only, which is a cotton's rinse, followed by a cotton spin. SP3 is a synthetics delicate spin at 800. And SP4 is a full-length cotton spin at 1300, which is the maximum for this machine. And then we can turn it off. I'll go on to options. So we've got pre-wash, which will add a 30-degree, 20-minute wash cycle beforehand, before the main wash. Quick wash will shorten the wash cycle, though unlike the later, it doesn't actually cancel a rinse. If you have a 6 whisper, this will actually reduce it from 3 rinses to 2, but not on this. Super rinse will add on rinses. Now, crease guard isn't available on the cotton cycle, but it is available on synthetics. Spin speed. Then we've got spin speed. We can adjust spin speed in 100 RPM steps, all the way to 0, which will be no spin, then back up again. Like so. Obviously, it doesn't say 1300, it just says 13, but that represents times 100. And you've got the actual RPM. Then finally we've got the start button here. Back to crease guard. So crease guard on synthetics will do an adjusted rinse and wash pattern where you will end with a very short spin. So short and quite slow that everything's basically wet still. Whereas on delicates and wool, it will just go into a rinse hold mode, so you'll have to take off crease guard when it gets to the end of the final rinse to let it do its final spin. So this is our detergent drawer. This is for your bleach, which will enter on any of the cotton programs. This is for your fabric softener. Don't get them mixed up like I have done in the past. This big compartment is where all your normal wash detergent goes. If you select the pre-wash, you've got to put detergent in this compartment as well as this compartment. Right, when you start a cycle, you have 3 dashes that will flash for around 10 minutes on the cotton cycle, and again for the synthetic cycle as well. Delicates and woolens will come up with a time within about 2 minutes, same with rinses and spin cycle as well. You've got LED indicators here. You've got the pre-wash LED if you select a pre-wash, which will light up when it's in that stage. You've got the main wash indicator, which will light up pretty much at the start of the cycle. You've got the rinses and final spin, which will indicate here when it's in that cycle. And you got the spin cycle light, which will indicate at the final rinse. Yes. How odd's that? So that will light at the final rinse stage, or when it gets to the final spin as well. So if you select spin only, that comes up. You select rinse and spin only, that light only comes up. So, a couple of things. It's called Whisper 1300, and there's nothing quiet about it. That motor is loud, yet it's packed with insulation to make it quieter. Doesn't look like it's worked. Couple other things as well. While I was explaining LEDs things, it took about 2 minutes before you actually did anything. This is normal, and this will happen with every single cycle that you select. Just how the program works on this, unfortunately. It takes a very long time. And it gets even more annoying, the fact that you can reset the cycle, you can cancel the cycle by holding down the start button. And it will beep to let you know it's cancelled. But then it won't do anything else. It will get stuck in that cycle until that cycle is completed. You can only start that cycle again. But it will fill up with more water now. Right, so the machine has now decided what time it's going to take. A couple of things with this timer though. Number one, I found it to be largely inaccurate. Very largely inaccurate. And two, it counts down in 2-minute steps.
gorgeous.
So, what to give this out of 10 then? Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky. So, the trouble is, this machine is it's both very flexible, both for its time and pretty much in today's standards as well. Come on, what if a machine gave you heavy, medium and light soil options as well as a quick wash option? There wasn't. There wasn't really anything about at all. But my problem with it is a lot of its build quality. A lot of it. For example, you got the push door release button here, which wears over time. This is no different. It's just a bit like a bike cable thing, but it needs adjusting. The recirculation pump broke on 2 of them. I've had 3 Quattros and 2 of the recirculation pumps have had to be replaced. The filter housing at the front broke, which is the first time ever that's ever happened on any machine I've ever worked on. And then there's the fact that when you reset it, it doesn't really like going back to a program unless it's the same program you were already on. Which is really confusing. There's no guide anywhere to say that what programs and what they're for. Cotton is for obviously 5 kilos, while synthetics is for 2. But it doesn't really say it anyway. It says in the manual, and they have little like program numbers, but there are actually no numbers on this dial. I like that you can push that in. It makes it look a bit neater, but it doesn't really do much. Washing and rinsing ability and spinning ability is really, really good. Not the best, but it is really good. The spin performance at 1300 is really exceptional, actually. Very good. So, I'm going to give this out of 10. I'm going to give this just a 5 out of 10. I don't want to, but I will do. I personally love the machines to use, but, and it's the but of the build quality, and it's the but of the resetting the program, and it's the but of the usability. It's all complicated. You know, like when you press start and then you're there waiting 2 or 3 minutes before it even does anything. Now, to most people, that might mean a broken machine. Is it actually working? Is it going to do something? 5 out of 10. While we're on the subject of build quality, this one's had a replacement motor, and the drum spider has failed on 1, and my own personal AE230 is going. Still got a lot of life left, but it is going. This is the only one that has a drum spider and bearings which are completely fine. Think about that.